you, Ross.
Okay,
we're going to start that over. Welcome to the Corner 3 Show. My name is Alex.
my name is 53-point TJ Warren.
And my name is Zach.
And that's Zach. Ross is on a
Sorry,
bit of a
Ross.
struggle bus
I meant it.
this evening, but we'll let it slide. He was on the TJ Leaf diet, obviously. But welcome everyone. What a game! What a start to tonight, to this season, to the bubble. The Pacers 1-0. I don't even know what's the final score of that game. The Pacers won. It was a tight fought match against the 76ers. A Pacers foe right up there with the levels of the Miami Heat.
127, 121.
Lots to discuss here. Lots to discuss. Let's get right into it. The talk of the town, TJ Warren. All right, your guys' reactions to just probably the best performance that we've seen this far in the bubble.
Oh, it's most definitely the best performance in the bubble. Going into this game, I was kind of concerned on. I tweeted at the beginning of the game. I was concerned on how this small ball would work for the Pacers, considering who we had out. And then, was it 90 minutes before the game, Malcolm Brogdon is ruled out with that neck injury from the previous game. So, a lot of that burden then falls on TJ Warren since Oladipo's slow coming back. But he stepped up. 53 points. I think he made 9 3-pointers. I wasn't expecting that. He had to carry the team, in my opinion, for this game. And looking at these stats, he did.
He definitely did that. Ross?
He's put himself on the list of, because he's not a star. He's not even probably going to be an all-star, I think. I kind of feel like in his career, maybe he's an outside kind of all-star potential guy. But to me, he is on the list of best Pacers supporting characters ever. Supporting players ever. That was so impressive. We needed points from somebody tonight. Vic played okay, but was absent for a lot of it. I don't know if that was just because TJ Warren was rolling and they just wanted to roll with it. I hope that was it. But you needed points from someone. He came out with confidence, 29 in the first half. That was just
insane.
I may have impulse bought a game night special tonight.
Hard not to.
I wanted to get one of those jerseys because I didn't buy that jersey, the blue one, a couple years ago, and I wanted one of those. So now there's the white ones. I wasn't going to spend for the jersey, but there's a shirt tonight. So, yeah, I did. I got number one coming. And curbside pickup. Thank you, Pacers Team Store. I'm going to say
all right.
$8
Ross
in shipping.
Is very much on his dad brain tonight, so we're just going to move on. But let's show the lay of the land here. Why don't we take a step back? Just kidding, Ross. But the Pacers tonight we're without Brogdon, we're without Sabonis, right? So 2 starters, first of all. But then another person who was out there tonight, Goga, who was out. So that was actually a big miss because the Pacers against the team like 76ers, a lot of length, a lot of height around the rim. And you saw the Pacers struggle to kind of contain Embiid. But we saw, we'll talk about Warren throughout this episode, but I think the 2 other players tonight who really stepped up, TJ McConnell, but also Jakar Sampson. He really, really showed up and played huge minutes for the Pacers when Turner especially struggled with foul trouble throughout the entire evening.
Could I say, to start off with, I want to say the beginning of the game, the Sixers were playing how they needed to play to beat the Pacers. They're bigger and they're playing inside and racking up fouls. But then they went and they kind of tried to play the Pacers game. They played shooting threes, and I don't know, if they just kept bullying inside, I feel like they would have dominated the Pacers, got everybody in foul trouble, and there was no hope. But then the Pacers playing scrappy ball and the hustle kind of ball and got them out of their game. Because, yes, you said Embiid was dominant in the first half there, but then he was taking threes, and I love when he does that. Just watch him do that. I'm like, pull up for 3. I don't care.
Yeah, he was settling. But I think that, and we can talk about this in a second, but the energy, and I tweeted this out, that a team like the 76ers, who obviously have some chemistry issues, and you've got a lot of attitudes on that team. We can talk about Embiid, and I forgot the name of their point guard who started a bit for them, but getting into a riff. But obviously they've got some issues there. And the way to beat that is obviously with energy. And Sampson and McConnell brought that. You think of McConnell's steals out of the inbounds, how he moves the ball, how he chases guys around. Energy was the theme of the night tonight.
Yes, I tweeted out.
And we're bringing it tonight, folks.
God, I know. I talked last time. I didn't want to cut off Zach from before. But yeah, the stars tonight, those 3 that you already mentioned. McConnell, how many inbound steals, or like the guy
2 or
looks
3
back
at least,
and he comes from nowhere and steals it and keeps it in bounds? That little energy kind of hustle and his connection with that second unit, like He had a couple backdoor cuts to McDermott.
Yeah.
He played great to increase the lead, the second unit. And then on the first unit, you have TJ Warren just literally on fire.
Lighting it up.
I was so impressed. I did not feel confident going into the game, obviously with all the guys missing. But then that little run there in the third, the Sixers went on.
Thank you
Good
to the
stuff.
chat for identifying Shake Milton. What a name. I think the name had something to do with tonight with his performance. But Zach, I want to talk to you about Jamin Howard. I mean, not Jamin Howard. I don't want to talk about Jamin Howard. I want to talk about Jamin Howard just put
looking at the chat.
Into the chat around Miles Turner, saying Miles Turner might have not tonight. He definitely, I mean, he obviously struggled. Look, like he was a little lethargic. He was slow. He did make some strong plays there in the fourth. In the end there, he scored 7 of his 9 points. So that was actually good to see. But I mean, obviously he's a guy who has to step up in the bubble with Sabonis out and with an Oladipo still trying to find his way.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Within the first 10 seconds, he got that first foul on Embiid right away. And then, of course, what you saw, and this is why I tweeted it because I was worried about small ball, what you saw from after that first foul, those first 8 points for the 76ers, they were just going straight to the paint.
Yeah.
And Turner's just backing off like this because he's going to get another foul. And, he can't step over, he can't help. And so they were just cutting through guys at the beginning. And, I mean, he only played 19 minutes. He fouled out. He was in foul trouble the whole game. But, I tweeted out that it's the same opinion that I've always had on him, that he's soft, which, I mean, he is soft. Tonight he was soft, but at the same time I felt for him because he's the only big man out there.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was
Embiid's tough.
It is Embiid.
He always struggles against Embiid, but not the fact that those guys on the 76ers were just cutting straight to the lane and getting to the basket.
Yeah, the Pacers couldn't keep anyone in front of them, which didn't help Turner. And I think the problem with Turner is that, he's not the most mature, probably emotional player out there, right? Like you've got a lot of players like TJ Warren, right? Like you can't tell if he's having a 53-point performance or, he's 0 for 12, right? He's always the same emotion out there on the court. The problem with Turner is that he doesn't really know how to find that middle ground when he's having a rough night or when he needs to play a different way. So when he's on, you can tell the energy is there, it's infectious to the rest of the team. But when he's struggling, when he feels like his team isn't looking out for him, we can talk about that moment with Aaron Holiday in a second. But when he goes from one extreme to another is when he really struggles. And I actually want to talk about that moment there. I don't know if you guys caught it, but it was a pick and roll with Aaron Holiday in the second quarter, I believe. And, Aaron Holiday, it was a pretty wide open shot, or he had Turner there for the pop as well. But clearly Turner was frustrated and they had some words going to the bench. Later, Turner goes out. Aaron Holiday makes a 3. The Sixers call timeout. On his way back to the bench, TJ McConnell stops Aaron Holiday before he gets to the bench. Says, great job. But you could tell he was like, Miles is clearly upset, but we need Miles tonight. Go over and say something. And that's one of those things, I hate to drink the Kool-Aid a bit, but the 3 T's, all that Pacers stuff that Pritchard and the front office talk about from a community and from an attitude aspect, that was on display tonight. I thought a lot of, because guys stepped up. Sampson stepped up. McConnell stepped up. Justin Holiday stepped up in the fourth. He hadn't really made a shot all night. Aaron Holiday played a great game. It was all guys stepping up around TJ Warren.
Oh yeah, I mean, I kind of saw it. Does anybody know? Like, were they really getting each other's faces? I mean, I saw Embiid and some 76ers players getting into it shortly after that too.
Not really. It was more Turner saying something on the way to his bench, on the bench when Turner got the next foul.
Yeah, I mean, it was after Turner fouled again. So I mean, like, I think again the thing with Turner, and I think it's good that the rest of the starting lineup, especially, is kind of all that really, steady type of emotional player. Like you think about Brogdon, Sabonis, Oladipo, and TJ Warren. Those guys are all pretty steady, whereas Turner can fluctuate, right? Like those 4 guys pretty much play the same way they do every single night. But I think regardless, this was a great win, especially because I think the 76ers will be a team the Pacers will probably see in the playoffs, or they'll fight for a seat at the minimum.
Pacers have locked up the tie break now. So if they
which is huge, which is absolutely huge. So right now the Pacers probably, if both teams stay in the 5th, 6th spot, Pacers probably looking at the Heat in that opening series, which I think TJ Warren would be pretty excited about. But let's talk about Oladipo's decision to seemingly, I guess, play in the bubble. Were you guys surprised about, the series of events? Or, I mean, I think it's kind of something, after him playing in the scrimmages, it was going to happen.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to go?
Surprise?
Fine. So, I guess the whole leading up to it was a little bit weird, the way they were just letting him kind of run through it, going to warm-ups, then decide. I honestly thought he wasn't going to play once Sabonis was out.
Me
I
too.
didn't know,
Yeah.
if he was thinking, well, there's no point in me playing and risking an injury if he's going to be out for a long time and we can't make a run in the playoffs. But, he obviously wants to play for his team. There's also the incentive for the extra $3 million. So, I mean, I give him props for playing. For a guy that's kind of rusty, still coming off some stuff, I don't think he played that bad at all. I mean, he shot 42%. He hit some big threes when we needed it and played his usual, D there. Got a little careless at the end.
Yeah.
But again, I think he's just one of those guys that he just needs to get in a rhythm and keep playing.
Yeah. I second all of your thoughts there. I don't think he played bad. I don't think he played well. He's obviously getting his legs under him or getting a feel for the game. But with TJ Warren doing all that he needed to, I think Vic was kind of more of, I'll do what the side stuff and I'll hit the shots when they need me. But otherwise, the scoring's being carried. We're good there. And he didn't hardly play, it felt like, the second half. But I was happy with how Vic played.
Yeah, I mean, what's going to be interesting is how the floor gets spaced now without Sabonis, right? Because with Sabonis, you could play through the post if you needed to, right? So they would have to collapse down. So that not having him, and the next game, hopefully Warren scores another 50 piece, but probably not. But when you don't have that player who can attract all that attention, which the Pacers really don't have right now, outside of Warren, with Oladipo kind of slowly getting in the swing of things, it'll be really interesting to see what kind of offensive schemes they go into, because Sabonis, again, just drew so much attention and really caused teams to, it opened up the game for Holidays, for the McDermotts, right? It opened them up for 3-point shots. But let's talk about that. Sabonis being out, we didn't talk about that since our last podcast, but we don't really know how long he'll be out. It's at least until at least a month. So it'll be interesting to see how long he's out and how big of a dent he puts in, or how much of a loss this Pacers team finds without him.
They're going to play different.
No. Anyways, but let's move on. Let's talk about Brogdon being out as well. So that was a big loss. Oh, whoa! Someone turn off all the lights in the house. All right. Well, Ross, you carry the conversation while I go.
So Brogdon, 90 minutes before the game, is suddenly said he's not going to be. He's not going to play, which was a surprise to everyone because we hadn't even thought of him as being on the injury report. We were more concerned with Vic. Is he going to play or not? Brogdon's out. Surprise, a cervical strain, something with his neck. I swear I had a text with actually Jamin, who's on this message right now. He says he's made of glass. Feels like that. I kind of feel more like if this was a playoff game, I hope he would play. This is seeding game. Okay. I mean, obviously it's frustrating. Obviously we could use him. But if this happens in the playoffs too, then okay, I'm getting frustrated with you, Malcolm Brogdon. I know you can't control injuries; they come up when they come up. But come on, man, a little bit there. So that was a little bit weird. But then on the flip side, it gave. Oh, Jamin says he was doubtful yesterday. I'm sorry, I'm not checking the injury report. I'm bad about that. But it gave the Holiday brothers a chance to start together, and Aaron. Both of them played very well. Aaron played exceptionally well. I feel like so.
Yeah,
Obviously, we need Brogdon to go anywhere in the playoffs, but. Hey.
Aaron will be an interesting piece because, tonight he didn't turn the ball over. He played pretty steady. I think he probably should have shot that 3 at the end there, that instead he drove right into Embiid, because it kind of puts the referees it puts the game into the referees' hands, which I don't know, we never like to do. But he was strong. I thought Justin Holiday struggled a lot early on. He didn't hit a lot of those open threes, which he has to with Sabonis out. But he made those big shots at the end. I think the Holidays themselves, when they play well, this team can really take off, because that allows spacing on the court, because they're both 3-point shooters. So it'll be interesting to see if they can keep it up, if they can have strong performances, especially with Sabonis out. That will really open up the lane for guys like Oladipo, for Warren, even Sumner, who really we didn't see when we saw him tonight, but he wasn't very aggressive, which I think sadly is a bit of a common theme with his game, is that, in games where we've got to put away a bit, or games where we're behind, he kind of shows up and plays pretty aggressive. But in games where we really need him to step up and it's tight, he tends to back away a bit. So I'd like to see him take a step up, because I think he can be a really nice piece, energy piece, kind of like McConnell and Sampson were tonight.
I just saw go back to TJ Warren. Quick trivia, including the ABA highest Pacers scoring games. Can you guess the points and who did them?
I see that tweet right now, so I can't.
No. Okay, Alex.
It's got to be like a Reggie performance from like
Reggie. Reggie was number 2. How much?
Like 53, 54?
57. Number 1 is George McGinnis with 58.
George McGinnis.
Mel Daniels, 56. The first NBA Pacer is, who do you think it was, with 55?
The first Pacer to do it?
NBA Pacer.
First NBA Pacer. So
besides
you're
Reggie,
like
sorry.
Early 90s?
Nope.
Late 80s?
2000s.
Oh, wait, this is 2000s. Is it Granger?
Jermaine O'Neal. And then TJ Warren with 53. So he's on the top 1, 2, 3, 4. He's the 5th highest scoring Pacer, tied with Roger Brown ever.
I love it.
That's crazy. Sorry.
No. We could talk about TJ Warren all night, because he was absolutely fantastic. And Quinn brought up on the broadcast, but with a guy like that, you just let him ride, right? Like, screw the offensive scheme. Because actually, if you look at the Pacers offense through the first 2 quarters, it was pretty much just pick and roll. Like they ran a few actions there where they had a little flare screen off the top, but for the most part, it was pretty much all pick and roll. So it wasn't like they were running a bunch of stuff that was actually getting them good looks. It was just that TJ Warren was absolutely on fire.
He was in fuego. There is one person. I don't want to get sidetracked here, but there's one person.
I know where you're going.
We were talking about people stepping up. There's one person I want to step up, and I don't know if he can step up. He is like a 10-inch vertical, and that's TJ Leaf. The dude is just.
Everyone's going to bring up, but he dunked on Embiid, but he played so terribly before that. I mean, and after that.
You can't. One dunk doesn't make up for a whole night of just being pure garbage.
I tweeted this out like 10 different times at 10 different people, but you saw how well Sampson did with the energy he brought, right? Like, he was plus 20 at one point. When he has to go out for a few minutes and they stay small, Philadelphia stays small, why wouldn't you try out Alize Johnson, who can bring that same energy and brings a little bit more offensive firepower, versus TJ Leaf, which you're going to get a bit slow, you're going to get a bit tired too quickly, and you're going to get short jump shots. Like, that is TJ Leaf right now. I mean, he's third year. We can't say there's anything else there right now. So I would much rather see Alize Johnson in that spot, because I think he would bring, especially in a game like tonight, bring the energy, which is what you need, right? Like, Sampson made a lot of mistakes out there too. Like, he didn't block out Embiid when he shot that 3, and it went right back to Embiid. And that could have been that was a 3-point swing. Could have been a 6-point swing. So I feel like you need that energy though, because it's, more often than not, it's going to benefit you. So I don't know. I mean, I'm on Team Zach here, where I really hope that the Pacers and McMillan make the decision at some point to cut the cord a bit and try out Alize, because energy is going to be key in the bubble.
To be honest with you, I've never seen Alize Johnson play. All the games I've watched, I must be missing the garbage time or something. I've never seen him play. So, I mean, obviously they've seen something in practice where they don't want him playing over TJ Leaf, but at some point it's just like, this dude's so bad. Like, he should be in the G League. Like, please just give us somebody else.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's more they've invested a lot more in TJ. He was a first-round pick. He has a better jump shot. But other than that, I don't know why Alize is not getting run. I mean, obviously the coaches know some more than we do, but you can't, like Zach, you said, it can't hurt. It's got to be something better.
The problem with TJ is that he plays like he's on 0.75 speed, right? Like, He plays like he's there, and sometimes it'll work, but for the most part, it's just too damn slow. And you're watching him try, and you're like, you're not making decisions fast enough. Your jump shot mechanics are far too slow to ever get it off if you're not wide open. Even when you do, it's so slow that it seemingly leaves it short every single time. But that draft will forever haunt us with Anunoby going right after. And for a lot of reasons, I want to move on because it's late and we should be really happy because of how awesome this game was. Also, one quick note here: the zone defense tonight we tried out was crap. Never do that again.
Which one did they do? Because they left corner threes like 3 in a row there. That was...
Well, it was funny because we did play a lot of 2-3, and Quinn said that we didn't, but we definitely played a lot of 2-3. It was a little bit 3-2, but I mean, we were just so slow getting out to the corners. I mean, laterally, we are a very slow team, like very, very, very slow team. So, I think in a game like this where we are healthy, we hopefully never go zone because I never want to see that again. That was terrible.
That was pretty bad. That stretch was not fun.
No. Let's talk about just the look of the Pacers now overall going through these next 7 games. So they've got the tiebreaker. We've got the tiebreaker, and we've got the Wizards up next. 7 games left.
Wizards and Orlando and Phoenix are your next 3 games.
So we feel pretty good about those. Do you feel like we'll see the Pacers take these next few and then ride into that 5th spot into the sunset, or do you think tonight was a bit of just a shock moment that won't happen again?
Are you saying that they won't try that same lineup again, or are you saying they won't play that?
No. Just the fact that we can't rely on TJ Warren to score 53 in a game where a lot of other players struggle.
Sorry, I was distracted by a comment in the YouTube section. Ross, take that because I didn't hear the question. Honesty.
Alex, you thinking they're going to win these 3 and then just kind of let it ride because they already got locked up the 5th with the Heat kind of thing?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see after the Suns game, because after that is the Lakers, which won't be fun. But then you got the Heat, I think, coming up after that too, which they will play. They play the Heat twice before they actually would play them in the playoffs. I don't think they'll let it. I don't think they'll shelve it and just be content with where they're at, especially since they have the chance of being all the way to 4 or all the way down to 6. And, Philly and the Heat aren't going to sit still.
Heat look good.
So as long as those other 2 teams around them are winning or trying their hardest, they're going to try their hardest too. I mean, you still got to beat these teams. Wizards won't be a problem. Orlando could be, and Phoenix actually played better than they thought. But
you say that now, Ross. They're going to lose.
Yeah,
said that.
I'm sorry.
What are your guys' initial thoughts about the bubble and everything? Like from a viewing experience, I know Zach has a very different view than I do, but I mean,
let me just say this. I will say this. Let me say this, but watching the Pacers broadcast with Quinn, Jeremiah Johnson, and everybody, I honestly had no problem with it tonight. It felt fine to me. Watching the TNT version just makes me cringe. Like,
really?
What was it? Thursday or Friday night when it was
with Reggie?
It was just everybody. It was Van Gundy, Reggie, everybody. It was just like,
I love Reggie, but when I watched it, all I could hear him goes,
Yeah, I mean,
like, come on, Reggie, say something, man. I don't know.
Reggie's not a great color commentator. I actually like Stan Van Gundy, though. I mean,
he had brought a lot to it. I was impressed.
Yeah, Jeff is hard to listen to because Jeff is kind of like your pessimistic uncle at dinner, and he's just like, well, they had to kill this turkey for us to eat it. You're like, thanks, Jeff, and like that's Jeff Van Gundy for you.
It was just like, so Quinn and everybody, they do a great job. It felt like a normal Pacers broadcast, but then it's like Thursday, Friday night when LeBron, Lakers, everybody are playing. It's like this empty room and you got this fake crowd behind you. LeBron does one dunk and they're like, oh, did you see that? Oh, and it's just like, I feel like I'm in an open gym. Like
Reggie and C-Web, not the best color
It's
guys.
like,
no, C-Web's terrible.
Ugh.
I tell you what, though, I think in general, the fact that this bubble is even happening is amazing, first of all. And the fact that while the MLB is completely falling apart and, I doubt the NFL will be able to get it together, the fact that we have basketball is pretty darn amazing right now. I think, they'll continue to refine it a bit. How much they show the virtual fans and how they sort that out will be interesting. But I mean, I'd say this, that I think the fact that the players haven't come out and said that the court is distracting or anything is distracting or like anything negative at all around actually playing is all we need to know, and that this is working. But I think it'll be really interesting to watch these next few weeks and see how things evolve. Like, we're going to have an interaction where a player watching a game, which is actually happening basically right below the camera angle. So that's where the players are allowed to watch their games. We're going to have a time where a player gets into it or says something at someone playing. And we're going to have like some of these moments, and it's going to be great. I mean, like the fact that NBA basketball is back, first of all, is just fantastic. It is so much fun to watch. It's the first time I bought League Pass.
The only thing I kind of miss, I wish, since you're so close to the core, I kind of wish they would have a little bit more of the player audio. I mean, I know guys are saying stuff they can't have on TV,
I
but
think they're allowed to.
I think that'd be so cool just hearing guys, calling out players or calling out screens, some little bit of trash talk, something. But that's like the only thing I wish
they're definitely piping in like fan noise, arena sounds. Like it sounds like people cheer after each made bucket to be the home team.
Yeah.
And like the Indiana home game tonight, you heard the IndyCar race and all that stuff.
That.
I'm like, they tried to make it as close as they could. I've enjoyed it. I mean, there's times where I forget that there's no fans in the audience. And so you look up the screen and you see all the digital fans and you're like, well, that's weird, but I want to be on there. So
I mean, first of all, they had 2 months to pull together all of this stuff. And the fact that they were able to pull together 2 courts like this and an experience that the players complained about everything, right? I mean, the players have complained about the food, about everything. I mean, actually, it was kind of like that first week about the food. And then after that, it was fine. But if you think about it, if it wasn't normal, if it felt awkward, if it felt, something that they couldn't play their normal game, we would have heard about it by now. But the fact that guys are pretty content with everything, I think, is a really good sign.
Well, I'm sure they made adjustments too. I'm sure that catering or different services or whatever, has been modified, or guys are able to.
Oh, how about that?
Have different food come in and stuff.
How about that little snippet? I forgot. I think it was Jared Greenberg in the last night's games. They said that they stocked the lake. I think it's called like Imagination Lake, or I don't know. It's right in the middle of all their resort hotels. They stocked the lake with fish so that the NBA players would catch fish and they'd be a little bit happier.
I read that. I also read a theory at first that there was only one giant fish that everyone was catching and throwing back in. But yeah, I mean, everyone's out fishing. They all catch these massive fish. And I'm like, I wonder if they're just like, when you feed animals at the zoo, they come right up to you because they're used to it. Or these fish are like, oh, yeah, I'll go get caught and then they'll throw me back in.
I tell you what, though, if I was a golfer and an NBA player, which would be a pretty nice life, I will say, this would be my absolute heaven. Like, imagine how much golf you get to play and just how good you could get. And that'd be pretty fun. You wouldn't have to ask the wife to go out to play. You could play golf whenever you'd like. I mean, I don't have a wife, but I'm just saying that sounds pretty darn great.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm not a Black Lives. I was reading the comments. I'm sorry. I'm not a golfer, so that would not be something I would want to do there.
Do we know B Shell?
No, but he's commenting like crazy. I'm trying to read through all the stuff. I don't know. Sorry, Mr.
To be honest with the B Shell, I didn't see the intro. I missed the first 5.
I just saw everybody kneeled like all the other teams.
Yeah, B Shell.
That's what I've seen.
Good, good for them. There's some pretty bad crap going on, and these are majority Black players, and they deserve to do what they feel like is right. And I mean, heck, if you haven't watched and seen, sorry, we got a question here, and we'll address it. We're an open podcast here.
Which one? Are you drinking whiskey? Is that
no?
That's a good question.
No, I'm taking the question from Zach. How do you feel about the Black Lives Matter statements from the Pacers? First of all, every single team in NBA is participating in some form of protest. Nothing wrong with that at all. And second of all, there's a lot of stuff going on, and all the power to them, because Jesus, there's a lot of stuff going on.
Well, like I said, I didn't see it, so I'm assuming everybody kneeled with all the coaches and players. And
everyone did. Everyone did.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the extent of the Pacers, what they did there.
Anyways,
team.
So back to what you're talking about, the bubble. So we have the barbershop. We have the fishing trend, or what they got the fishing pond going. They also have the players lounge, which is like another, it seems like something from 2K. They got the pool tables and everything and a big court going on. There's just so much stuff going on there. And then like a couple guys have started YouTube channels. They're vlogging from
Matisse Thybul hit 100K.
Thibault. JaVale McGee's vlogging from down there. So, and I'm sure those guys there's probably a bunch of gaming going on too.
Josh
They got nothing else to
Hart
do.
and I forget who the other guy.
Actually, not to be the inside scoop, but I texted Gordon. He said lots of gaming on, but he misses the family. He's expecting the 4th, and it is a boy, so he's actually got some good stuff going his way. Finally, he actually played really well as well in that opening night.
Good for him. Good for him. Now we can stop trying.
Anyways, well, this has been a very wide-ranging Corner 3 Show podcast. We might have to do some editing here and there, but we'll see. But
let's change the subject. I have a couple fun things we can do.
Okay, let's do it.
Remember, I wanted to do Where Are They Now?
Yes.
Okay, because I was watching highlights from one game and I thought he is on that team. So you guys may get a lot of these, but I have about 18 players written down. We can go through them kind of quick. But guess what team he plays on now, kind of thing. Some are in the bubble, some aren't. And I was surprised. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Tyler Johnson. Used to be the Heat. Where is he at now?
Suns.
Memphis.
No and no.
Oh my gosh.
The Nets.
Oh, he's with the Nets.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
One you probably recently, Trey Burke.
He played last night, and he was not. He's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, who played last night though? Was it Mavs?
Mavs, good call. There you go.
Nice.
Noah Vonleh.
Oh, I saw he played the other night too. Is it Minnesota? No, Minnesota.
No, he actually played.
No, yeah, he did. I think it might have been a scrimmage. Oh, he plays for the.
Is he on Memphis?
No,
he's
similar
on,
colors.
Oh, what's he on?
Kind of.
He's on.
Similar colors. Who's similar colors to Memphis?
Keep
on
Not
the
Utah.
Jazz.
Utah?
No,
not Portland either. Used to be Portland, Jamin.
not on the Jazz. Not on the Jazz.
Not on the Jazz. I don't know what
Kings?
state above Utah. Nuggets. He's on the Nuggets.
Oh, really?
Noah Vonleh's on the Nuggets. Yeah, I didn't know that. Gorgie Dang.
He.
Wait, are all these guys in the bubble right now?
No, I'm mixing
Okay.
in some teams that aren't. Actually, looking through, I grabbed teams. All of them are except for
I just
one
played
team I'll
him in
get to a minute.
2K20. He was
About 80% of these are in the bubble. Gorgie Dang, you just played with him?
What team is he on?
Grizzlies.
Grizzlies.
Okay, I'll do some Pacers, ex-Pacers. Solomon Hill.
Pelicans still? No, Grizzlies.
Nope.
He's not on the Pelicans anymore. I thought he was. Is he in Miami?
Miami. There you go.
Oh,
Miami
boom.
Heat.
Jeez.
Actually, that was it on the Pacers. I had another one I've written down. Oh no, that was a Hoosier. Juwan Morgan. Where's he?
Oh, he is on the
G League.
Jazz.
Jazz. Good
Yeah,
call.
he's on the
G
Jazz.
League. Pacer, or a guy who I wanted to be on the Pacers, and I'm glad they didn't pick him. Cam Payne.
Oh, he had like a really bad moment the other night where like Brian Scalabrine was commentating. He's like, "Is that Cameron Payne? I didn't know he was still in the league." It was really
Why is he
embarrassing.
even in the league? I don't know, but yeah, he's
Phoenix?
on the Suns. Good call. Let's see here. No, we already did that one. Jordan Bell. These are outside the bubble. I'll give you that
Timberwolves.
hint. Outside the bubble, not the Timberwolves.
He was
Warriors.
Nope.
Oh,
He's on the same team as Dante Exum. Outside the bubble.
oh my gosh! So many people have moved around.
Is this the same Jordan Bell that was on the Warriors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Bulls traded that pick for
Outside the bubble.
not OKC, Jamin. He is on
Go ahead.
Cleveland.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I
They
didn't
have
know that.
Dante and Jordan Bell. I got a few others here. Alex Lynn, the center, the big guy, not Jeremy Lin. Alex
So
Lynn.
he's not on Phoenix anymore.
No, now we're back in the bubble. I'm out of those teams.
Oh, what? Oh,
What Eastern or Western Conference?
West
Portland.
comes south. Well, there's not
Everybody's
a
south
lot
of
north. Yeah, that doesn't help you
Sacramento?
at all. Sacramento. There you go. Tyler Zeller.
Oh,
I didn't know he was still in the league.
I didn't know. I have no clue. I thought he was out.
Is it Sacramento as well?
No.
Portland?
Spurs. San Antonio.
Spurs.
Man.
I got a few more here. Mike Muscala. Used to be the Hawks. It's players I've heard of, but I would have never pulled these.
I have no idea where
Eastern
Mike
or
Muscala
Eastern
is
or
at.
Western Conference?
West.
I have zero idea where Mike Muscala is from.
OKC.
Interesting.
James Johnson. Used to be Miami Heat.
Wait, he's not playing anymore.
He was on their roster. Maybe he's injured, but he's on their roster.
In the bubble right now.
No, James Johnson?
That's what it said.
Oh,
Maybe.
James. Okay, I thought you were
You're thinking of James Jones. No.
He was like-
he's
he's
not in
like-
the bubble. Sorry.
He's like a
This one's
player
not.
exec.
Yeah, James Jones is
Exec.
Heat, right? Heat exec? No,
No.
I don't know. Anyway, James Johnson.
I'm
tough
thinking
guy.
of James Johnson on Atlanta, but they're not in the bubble. So
T-Wolves. I'm out of the bubble. I mixed that one up. Bad call, Ross. Here's two players. Thabo Cephalosha, Luke Mba Amute, both in the bubble.
I literally have zero clue where these guys play.
Rockets.
Zero clue.
On the
I have no
Rockets.
idea where any of these guys play.
I got two left on the same team, or three left. Jordan Clarkson and Ed Davis.
Oh, Jazz.
There you go. Jazz. And then Corey Brewer still playing. Who's he play with?
he is. Dang.
Rockets?
Not the Rockets.
Corey Brewer is on the Wizards.
Kings.
Dang.
The NBA is just well. I actually on the same kind of tone. I want to go through the Pacers 2017-2018 roster. So
Oh no! I originally was gonna ask you like all the ridiculous
years
teams
ago.
that Monte Ellis and Rodney Stuckey are on, but they're not on a team at all, so it doesn't. Even
I know.
matter.
Well, like if you go back to 2016-2017 roster, pretty much it's everyone's not in the NBA except for Miles Turner, which is pretty telling. But if you just even go back 2 years ago, you've got guys like EK, Trevor Booker, Darren Collison, Al Jefferson, all out of the league. Poitras out of the league. Lance out of the league. Damian Wilkins retired and 50 years old. Joe Young out of the league. So you look back at this Pacers roster and also just how quickly they have evolved. Because if you think back to 2016, you've got a pretty veteran heavy roster. But if you look at this team, it's pretty young, right? I mean, your starting lineup is pretty young, and then your oldest vet is really Justin Holiday, I believe. So you've got a pretty young team overall. And I think having a young team with young role players is important, because if you think about those Pacers teams that fell short, every year we basically had to try out a new set of bench players instead of being able to grow with the team, right? So you think about like the like Kevin Serafins of the world, and like the Lavoy Allens, and like DJ Augustines. Like every year we had to try out a new one. That guy didn't work, try out a new one. Oh, that guy didn't work, try a new one. But with
What was
this,
Christmas? What was that guy's name?
yeah, Rakeem.
Rakeem.
Well, but I mean, he was a young guy. He was actually kind of promising at some points. But I think the interesting thing with this team, and I feel like why they could be a serious contender for years to come, is that they're not going to, just uproot this core anytime soon, and their young players are young.
Unless Victor wants to go to Miami.
Well, unless Victor, we're not going to talk about that.
Don't bring it down. We already brought it down a little bit with
That's not a
TJ Leaf
topic
talk, but
that's not a topic for this conversation. Anyways, well, that was fun.
I have one more thing I want to plug, and I just
one
picked
more
it up. I have a new book. I always have some book that I'm reading. Did either of you ever play NBA Jam, or am I the oldest person here? Okay.
No, I played it.
Okay. Well, there's a book by this wonderful author, Mr. Ali. He's on Twitter at NBA Jam Book, and he gave me a copy and signed it, and he asked me what my favorite team was, so he sent me some cards. Classic.
wow.
91
cool.
tops.
Nice.
Ours is Fleer, actually.
Look at you, Ross.
But it's about NBA Jam, the making of the game, all the little inside scoop stuff. I love that game. I played that so much on my Sega Genesis, and if I go to any place with an arcade, the only one I can think of is Tapper's Arcade Bar down in Fountain Square.
We tried to find one in Chicago that did not go as well.
That did not go as well. That was not as much fun. They didn't have NBA Jam, but the one here in Indy, Tapper's Arcade Bar, has an NBA Jam game.
I will
spend all night there. It's
I
fantastic.
have bought NBA 2K20 on the Steam sale for it was like $10, and much harder my career developing your player than it used to be. Requested a trade from the Pacers actually because they stupidly drafted a shooting guard with Victor Oladipo on the roster, and so when I did make it to the starting lineup, I actually kicked him out of the starting lineup, even though he was our highest scorer. So the game really wasn't thinking very well for itself. So we were losing a lot of games. And also Miles Turner in that game cannot finish a layup for his life. It is the most frustrating
I haven't played with the
world.
modern day Pacers. Last time I played that,
Oh
it
my
was Rodney
goodness.
Stuckey, and
It
I
is
didn't
so
I didn't
annoying.
enjoy it.
He cannot finish. I do not. I mean, I'm so thankful I'm not on his team anymore. Sorry.
So
But
I'm going to
also-
read this, and I will review it for you
2K.
guys.
Also, the best thing about 2K though is that you can choose the jerseys that you get to play with once you hit a certain point in your career with the team. And with the Pacers, you can choose any jersey, like Flo Joe's,
Flo Joe
even
all
the
day.
pinstripes. Like it is fun wearing the gold pinstripes. You feel like you're gonna at least lose in the Eastern Conference Finals in those jerseys. It's a pretty good.
I lose
feeling.
to Shaq and Kobe is what that was.
You feel like you're gonna be talked about as that old scrappy white team, just enough.
All the shaved heads were too disgusting.
To lose. It's pretty fun. It's pretty realistic. Anyways, all right. Well, this was fun. We're gonna be doing a lot more of these because it's mobile, because it's the bubble. We've only got a few months, hopefully 3 months of this, but this was fun.
I assume we'll be
back.
back after the Lakers game or something like that around that time, because the next 3, I'm sure there'll be stuff to talk about, but it won't be like tonight where first game back, someone was literally on fire.
Whew, TJ Warren, 50 piece. Well, now I'm going to go watch the Lakers Raptors because, also the best part about the bubble is that there can only be 2 games at once, obviously.
to back. Yeah.
Yes. Also on a Saturday, and you got League Pass, and you're just starting at 1:00, and you can go till midnight. Just get your butt on the couch, crack open a beer, enjoy it.
It's nice.